All right, I thought I'd start out today by introducing myself in this podcast. I'm Christine Jackson, and I'm a speaker, an author, a coach, and a copywriter. My passion is really to lift others up, to help them see their gifts, their purpose, and to help people make positive change in their life. And as a speaker, I often advocate and discuss the inclusion and support of children and adults with disabilities. I'm passionate about the disabled community, and, well, it makes sense because I'm also a mom of a 20-year-old with autism and cerebral palsy. Actually, I'm blessed to be the mom of two amazing children. I admit, and I come to you in full transparency, that I've had struggles with my faith. There were some very dark days when my son was young that I denounced God's existence, and I openly declared myself as an agnostic. But one day I had a really pivotal experience as I was driving my son to daycare, which I'm blessed was my mom. I had been so angry and so lost for so long. I was devastated at my child's diagnosis and his prognosis. And I remember sitting at a stoplight. I know the streets. I was at Meacham and Schaumburg Road. If you live in Schaumburg, Illinois, you'll know where I'm talking about. And I mean, truly, I'll never forget that moment. I was crying and begging for God to come to me and help my child. I apologized for doubting him, and I begged forgiveness, and I just knew that I didn't know, but I didn't know how God could forgive me after me being so angry at him. I remember bargaining and pleading and promising him that if he would just help my son, I'd do anything, whatever he needed, whatever he wanted. And it was at that moment that I felt an intense warmth surround me that morning. I can't even describe it, but it was just such a feeling of love. It felt like arms just wrapping around me and giving me the most glorious hug that you can imagine. I felt a blissful sense that everything was going to be okay. And that's the day, that morning, that I became a believer again. A short while ago, I was writing a sales letter for a client, and something told me to start a Bible study for parents of kids with disabilities. Now, you have to know that it had been weighing on my heart for a long time, and it's one of the things that I speak about is the inclusion, like I said, of people and adults with disabilities, or children and adults with disabilities. And unfortunately, our churches and our religious organizations in general are not exactly the most inclusive groups. So that's something that's weighed on my heart for a while. But this message came out of nowhere. And frankly, I don't know anything about starting a Bible study. I've never started one. I've never been in one. So I have no idea how to start a Bible study. But I do believe that if it's placed in my heart, then God will guide me to do it. So I decided to start here on this platform. So if you're like me, you're a busy mom or dad, and you may or may not have found a church family, but you probably still want to spend some time with God and worship. So that's my plan with this podcast. I want to gift you the time with God. So each day we'll spend 5 to 10 minutes together. I'll share a verse with you, and I'll share my thoughts on its application to the lives that you and I lead. If you enjoy this concept, please click and subscribe. I can't wait to get started with this project because it's been weighing on me for a little while now. So this is just so amazing that this platform exists and that I can do this and share it all with you. Primarily, the focus will be for parents of children with disabilities, but if you have a friend or a coworker or a colleague or family member that you know who could benefit for this, please share the podcast with them so that they can also be lifted up daily. I pray that blessings flow to you today, and I'll see you on day 1.